Hi and welcome to another edition of OnsideSA, and it's really coming down to the end now with the last one standing. And Budge, 53 left of 112.
Yeah, Paul, obviously the guys were all on the one team, Everton, that kept them alive, and 4 on West Ham, the rest went out.
Yeah, Everton ended up winning comfortably, I
Comfortably
thought.
in the end, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of guys went out, and just to let you know, the guys that stayed in were with Everton and, of course, West Ham, but they went with Leicester, they went with Man United, Liverpool, some big teams took boys out, Southampton, Watford and Brighton. So 53 going through. Here are the ones we want to talk about. 5 ladies left.
Hanging in the ladies, Paul.
Katherine Armstrong, I actually saw her the other day.
Yeah,
she
on Friday.
spoke to me. Yes, and she wasn't confident.
It was either Everton or West Ham.
That's
she was
right.
panicking when West Ham
the
were
right
behind.
way.
Yeah.
Brittany
Berger.
yeah. Chantal Matthew, Renee Ruiz, and Michelle Tovey. And well done to the 5 ladies.
Yeah,
Budge.
ladies hanging in there, Paul.
Because the overseas boys, there's less than the girls.
I know.
Ian Byrne, your brother.
Can you believe it, yeah?
Yeah, Francois Dumie. Now, when he's
That's
overseas,
Francois Michel Narak's mate from Mauritius.
Oh, excellent. And Kevin Furry, yeah, he's
in
the
the yachts.
Caribbean. And where's Swinbank at the moment?
Nigel, well, I think it was at Old Trafford last night.
Oh, so he's in
Nigel.
the UK.
Yeah.
Okay, the previous winners that are still in Budge, interesting. Sean Matthews, very good. He always hangs tough. Henry Nordi, he is tough. Guillaume Nell, doing well. And, of course, Sean Phillips. Eh?
Yeah, Guillaume always tells me, to be the champ, you've got to beat the champ. So we'll see. But he's under pressure this week, Guillaume, so we'll see what he picks.
Now, this is another interesting one you've come up with, Budge. Guys with 2 picks left. Mark Curry, great gentleman. Rion Diago, I don't know.
Yeah, you'll know him, Paul. He's one of my club tab mates.
Sean Matthew, going strong.
Hanging in, Paul, yeah.
And Singleton, the legend, Sean Singleton, still going. Eh? Well done to all 4 of them. And your new incentive is that your pick of the week.
Yeah. Yes, Paul, the team, the guys who pick the highest value team.
Yes.
And obviously Everton were 5 to 10, so it had to be West Ham. They were 14 to 10.
Katherine Armstrong, Manny Almeida, Guillaume Nell, and Doreen Rajla.
Yeah, Doreen works for Appy, Grant Fraser at Jam Clothing.
Okay,
so big
fantastic.
Man United man, so good luck to him.
And of course, the Unbelievable Award, and this is so appropriate, Budge. The TKO, the CEO, Michel Narak, first time ever in round 6.
I know, Paul. I don't know what's going to happen when we see him a little bit later. He could still be a bit shell-shocked, Paul.
Only got 1 left.
Only got 1 left, Paul. That's all you need.
All you need is left. Well done, Michel Narak. Right, let's see if we can get our man Stevie B. Stevie B's in the UK. Stevie, are you there?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. All the better for a Mitrovic hat-trick in the first half yesterday.
What was the final score there?
3-1.
3-1, eh?
3-1.
Good result, Steve. You're doing well, your boys.
Yeah, no, they needed. That was they're a tidy side. Swansea came and tried to play football, which suits us better than when we play against teams that put sort of 10 men behind the ball. So we needed it back up to third, only 2 points off the top, which is fine.
Yeah. Steve, Champions League kicked off on Tuesday night. PSG, Man City. Did you watch it?
I did, yeah. City probably be kicking themselves that they didn't get something out of the game. How Bernardo Silva will probably never miss a chance like that again. And for most of the game, they had, Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi quite shackled. And obviously, but Messi is that sort of player. He gave them the one chance, and it really was a wonderful strike. And the game was over at that point. But City had a lot of the game, but they just showed they just lacked that cutting edge. They just didn't. I just keep thinking there are times when they need that number 9. It worked for them at Chelsea. It surprised them played Jesus start because obviously the score at Stamford Bridge. But I think City will go through with PSG from that group.
Yeah, without Mbappe, that PSG is not a team. He's the key to the whole team. I know Messi had that moment of magic, but without Mbappe, they nowhere. Liverpool cantered through 5-1 against Porto.
Yeah, very much. They've never lost to them, and I saw the highlights, and it didn't look like they were going to either. So big win for Liverpool, and all things being equal, they've got they're in a very pole position in that group now.
Yeah, they'll go close, Liverpool. Man United last night, Steve, I know you were at the cottage watching your beloved Fulham, but how United won, I don't know. Our best player was our goalkeeper, De Gea. And if he doesn't sort something out, our two fullbacks, I don't know who, I don't think they could play in the PSL, even though Tele scored a great goal. You know, we've got all the players, but we're in trouble. How do you see it?
Well, I think obviously without Saka and without Harry Maguire, then obviously they're the kingpin of the defence. But they've got to sort it out. They didn't bring they brought Varane in, but obviously it isn't making a difference that I think he hopes. So I saw the highlights, and it was the yellow submarine were all over them when I watched it. But obviously, when I heard the Ronaldo goal in the car, and that's why they brought him in, to score the goals in the big games. And ultimately, it wasn't a great performance, but it's all about the result. So it puts them back into contention in the group, which they needed.
Yeah, Chelsea got beat 1-0 by Juventus. I backed them last night. First half, they looked like they were in control, and a goal 10 seconds into the second half. Couldn't get back into it. Did you see the highlights?
Crazy. I saw the highlights. I mean, it was a good goal. I mean, Chiesa was a good player. And Chelsea never, watching the highlights, you couldn't really see Chelsea did anything much in the second half. And obviously they brought on Chiellini in the latter part of the game to play alongside Bonucci. And we know how good they are as a pair. So, I think Chelsea, again, the group is still in their hands. Malmo are the sort of whipping boys. They've got to get 6 points against them and get something at Zenit. And then I think that's enough for them to get through.
Now, Steve, we spoke yesterday about Barcelona. They got a good hiding last night. I think he's in serious trouble, Koeman, 3-0 in Portugal against Benfica. What is this loan?
Yeah, it's very, it's all sounding a bit suspect. There's an unknown named company that said they're prepared to loan Barcelona £1.2 billion, which would effectively wipe out their debt, and then not ask for any repayments for some time. I don't know where this is coming from, whether it is a company or whether it's it's a member of the Dubai royal family, because obviously they see the money coming in from Abu Dhabi and from Qatar into clubs, and whether they want a piece of it. But I don't know if La Liga would be very happy, because they have they've got sort of fairly strict sort of financial fair play rules, and in fact so strict that Barcelona really just can't buy anybody at the moment. I heard a comment last night. They're saying that their wage cap is equivalent to something like Watford's, and when you think of the sort of players they used to have, who they've obviously had to get rid of, they're in trouble. And it's very hard to see how Koeman can stay much longer. But then I feel sorry for him, because he's basically been given sort of to work with. Last night was the first time they've lost their first two games in the Champions League, and they're in desperate trouble of not getting through. And as things stand with that group, that I could quite easily see them coming third or fourth.
So I wanted to ask you a question, Steve. Is there a chance of Barcelona going into administration?
Well, I think that you can't. It's hard to believe that could happen, but they do have huge debt, and obviously if they are put under pressure to repay some of that, then obviously they could be. They've got a huge fan base worldwide, and you think that ultimately they could be somebody who's prepared to buy the club. I think but that goes against their model, because effectively Barcelona always sort of look to be independent of one person owning it. But they haven't been in this position probably ever. I think it's ultimately it's financial mismanagement. If you've got paying players like Messi gross £1 million a week, it's not sustainable in the long term.
Yeah, okay.
Steve, Europa League tonight. A mate of ours is going to watch West Ham Rapid Vienna. West Ham too good?
I think they should be. If he plays, you'd like to think he'll play a strong team. I think if they win this one, then they're in pole position in the group. They got a good result out in Zagreb, and I think they will take it on. It's their first European adventure for some time. I think the fans will demand David Moyes picks a strong team, and I hope that he will, and they'll win this tonight, and I think that puts them in a very strong position in the group.
Yeah, Leicester get a result in Poland?
I think they can. I think they need to, really, because Napoli, I think, are going to win that group. And Leicester really, need to win this or certainly can't afford to lose it to finish second in the group.
Yeah, and Tottenham get a result against Slovenian superpower Enes Mura.
I don't think he'll play a strong team necessarily, but they should be too strong for them. Enes Mura are hardly a force in European football, so and Tottenham need to bounce back after a few lacklustre performances in the league. So I think you'd like to think they'll play a strongish team and they'll win it comfortably and give them a bit more confidence.
Yeah. Steve, kick-off Premiership Saturday, lunchtime, Man United.
Again,
at home, lunchtime. Yeah, I don't know why we're at this time, especially playing Wednesday in the Champions League, against a difficult Everton team. How do you see it?
Yeah, I think it will be. I did, look at this before, think, well, United should win this, but I think after that performance last night, I think he's going to have to change it a little bit. Jesse Lingard, when he's come on, has looked sharp in matches, and I just wonder whether or not he might be prepared to start him. He's obviously desperate to give Sancho some game time, but he hasn't quite shown what he's capable of doing. What he did at Northern. Ultimately, Ronaldo's got to play, and they're obviously having to rely on him to play sort of every game, really. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think they can sneak at United, but I think it could be
same points.
I wouldn't be surprised if Everton held them otherwise.
Rafa did it to Sir Alex many a time, come to Old Trafford and gave us a smack. Now, a game I'm interested in is Brighton at home to Arsenal. How do you see that one?
Yeah, I watched Brighton the other night, and really they were probably fortunate to get anything at Crystal Palace. Those games, the last three games between those teams have seen last-minute goals that have changed the game. I was a little bit disappointed with Brighton, but they don't give up. Arsenal seem to have found a little bit of form. Certainly their first half against Tottenham, I thought they were exceptional. I fancy Arsenal to go there and get a result. I just think that maybe they've just turned the corner a bit, playing with a bit more confidence. So I think it'd be close, but I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal get a result down there.
Brighton are 1 point off the top.
Yeah, Brighton had won the other day, they would have been top. Now, a team that has to rebound this weekend is Tottenham Hotspurs against Aston Villa.
At home, yeah.
What's your call there, Steve?
Yeah, look, Villa pulled off obviously a shock result last weekend, and had a couple of good results. Tottenham, as you say, they've got to find a way to bounce back. I don't think it'd be that easy. I think
Villa good side.
Certainly,
good side.
Surprise everybody, with the way they've played in. And I thought they played really well at Chelsea, even though they lost 3-0. I think this will be a tight game. If Tottenham, I can't see Tottenham playing their strongest team tonight. They probably don't need to, so they'll rest players. But we need Harry Kane to come to the party in the league. He's really not. You watch him and you think, is this the man who scored all these goals for England, the captain of his country? Because there's something not right in the game, and him and Son are just not firing. So maybe it'll come good against Villa, but I think it'll be a very tight game.
Tight game, I agree.
Okay. Two teams in great form, West Ham and Brentford. London derby, Steve?
I think there'll be goals. I couldn't believe that Brentford came back against Liverpool. Liverpool threw it away, really. They had the chances to wrap the game up and ultimately paid the price. I think West Ham will play a strong team tonight, so they want to hope that nobody gets injured. But I fancy West Ham just to edge it. I think there'll be goals, but I just think that they might just have a little bit too much. I like the way they play this year.
Yeah, me too. Stephen, the big game of the weekend is Liverpool at home to Man City, 1v2. What's your call?
Yeah, well, last couple of seasons, City have played well. I think that's a huge game. Liverpool really want to, the marker. But I thought last weekend that Chelsea would maybe hold or beat City, and City actually were exceptional. They really didn't give Chelsea much of a kick. I think this will be a really tight game. I'd love to see goals, but I'm not sure there will be many. But Liverpool certainly on a high after that result in Porto. So I can't see Liverpool losing, but I think it could be a tight game.
Okay. Steve, on to the Championship, the Money League. Your boys Fulham cruised last night. Lunchtime kick-off a game. You'll be watching this and not the Man United Everton. Can you beat Coventry?
Well, Coventry have had a fantastic start to the season. They've won all 5 at home. Away, they come on. Last night, they were completely outplayed by Luton. 4-0 down at half-time, lost 5-0. I think Mark Robbins will probably want them to bounce back. But this is a game that we have to target. Coventry, if they watch the way Coventry conceded some of those goals, I think, with the forward line that we have and the players that we have, we should go there and win. And we need to. Really, we need to keep pace with West Brom. I think the pace setters.
Okie dokie. Bournemouth, Sheffield United. Steve, I went for Sheffield United in midweek. Totally well beat by Middlesbrough. Can they rebound?
Sheffield United.
Yeah, I think they can. I was surprised at the results of Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough hadn't shown much form, but Sheffield had sort of come back, scoring something like 11 goals in 3 games. I'm not overly impressed. I know it sounds crazy, but Bournemouth sitting second in the table, unbeaten, but they haven't put in a lot of really big performances. I mean, some scratchy ones really, where they've just scraped through. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Sheffield United put off a bit of a shock here. So, I just think that I think midweek was a bit of a wobble, but I think they've been playing a lot better and score goals. So I just think that could be a bit of a surprise result.
Okay, well, the 2 goals at Middlesbrough Sport were 2 superb goals. They weren't like tap-ins, they were outstanding. Now, the Lancashire derby, Blackpool-Blackburn. How do you see that going?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, you would have said, well, Blackburn all day long, but Blackpool have had a really good run. Hoiked themselves up from near the bottom to halfway. Blackburn are strong. I mean, they're scoring goals and doing well. I think this will be a cracking game. Blackburn are just sort of in the fringes of the playoff place. But I don't know where Blackpool have all of a sudden have just started. They beat us was their first win, and since then they've been playing really well. I think it's a call actually. I think you could perm any results in this game. Blackburn don't travel as well, and I wouldn't be surprised if Blackpool hold them. Okie
dokie. Derby County, Wayne Rooney's guys lost all those points, but they won last night. Can they get 2 in a row against Swansea?
Well, I saw highlights of the Derby game this morning, and they played well. I mean, I think now back into plus points, and I think they're showing a bit of fire. Swansea, interesting. I mean, they're very tight team, played a lot of football, but didn't create much. And I think I can see Swansea there beating possession, but Derby maybe catching them on the break and winning.
Okay, so Derby. And last but not least, Queen's Park Rangers. Sorry, against my boys, Preston North End. Can we avoid defeat again?
QPR up there.
I think that will be a tough ask. QPR are scoring goals. They're strong at home. They had a couple of upset results. They lost at West Brom, although they played very well. Lost at home to Bristol City, not dominating, but bounced back the other night. I would be surprised if they get anything, but then they have surprised both of us this season with a couple of fighting results as they got against West Brom and Stoke. Yeah. So I think they'll go there with a bit of confidence, but ultimately I think QPR might be a bit too strong.
Yeah, I hate to say, but I think you're right. All right, Steve, last week you were on the market game with your best bet and value bet. Who are you going for this week?
I'm going to go for Burnley as my
best bet. The Burnley brothers.
They showed a fighting performance at Leicester. Norwich, can't buy up points at the moment, and I just think Burnley be too strong for them. Yeah. And my value bet, I'm just going to go for a little bit of a punt. I'm going to go for Sheffield United. I think 3-1. I think that could be an interesting bet, and I think that they've just Jokanovic, I think would be G them up after that defeat at Middlesbrough, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if they pull off a bit of a shock.
All right,
what price are Man City against Liverpool? If Liverpool
are
19
15 to 10, yeah.
15 to 10, okay, thank you.
Close game.
They're favourites, which...
very strange, but
I mean, look, but then I guess, if you look at the way they played against Chelsea and even against... So for most of the game at PSG, they dominated the game, but again, couldn't quite find a breakthrough. Although, as I say, Bernardo Silva has probably replayed that miss 100 times in his mind, because it's hard to believe he could miss. It's 9 times out of 10, you'd never be able to hit the bar in that position, or just hit the back of the net. But he obviously wasn't going to be there tonight.
Yeah. Steve, thank you very much. Good luck Saturday at Coventry.
Thanks,
Stevie.
Stevie.
You next week.
Yeah.
Speak to you later.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye, Stevie. Bye. Well, there we go. Stevie's our man. He always a font of information,
I know,
Steve. He
knowledgeable.
knows his stuff.
That's why we use him, Paul.
That's
He knows
why
what
we
he's
only
talking
use the
about.
best. We only use the best. I'm surprised they don't use him somewhere in England.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at
Premiership.
Premiership. Let's go and have a look at the teams. And you've touched on a few with Steve, or
Yeah.
Steve's touched on a few. But let's look at our log here.
Paul, I wouldn't be taking 5 to 10 Man United. I haven't liked what I've seen the last few weeks. He's going to have to make a few changes. Paul, even money Everton, both teams to score. I thought that was the bet in that game.
Any of those Everton boys back in yet?
Calvert-Lewin's training. Richarlison's out, but Calvert-Lewin's back training. I don't think he's more than likely to start on the bench. You know, there's an international
I think
week.
they're both on 13 points. 1 point off the top,
1
these
point,
two.
Paul. You know, we've played. Everton have played lesser sides, but still, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But lunchtime kickoffs, Paul, dangerous.
Are Norwich going to go 6 or 7 in a row without a win?
Wow, Paul, they haven't scored away from home. That's their problem. And Burnley lost 1-0 at Arsenal. I watched that game, and they're unlucky against Leicester 2-2. They scored in injury time to win the game. So they're a man's team, Paul. They're used to these situations. Paul, 9 to 10, like Steve, they're my best bet of the weekend. I know they're struggling. They haven't won a game, but I like what I see.
They haven't won a game, Burnley.
Not a league game. So,
Okay, and then Chelsea, are they too strong?
well, they should be, Paul. I watched the Southampton. I went for them last week.
They're thorn in some people's sides.
Paul, against the better sides, but last week against Wolves, they were terrible.
Yeah, they weren't at the races.
Really disappointing. They had a few rand on them, not cited. Chelsea, 2 smacks in a row, Paul.
Yeah.
Lost at home, totally outplayed by Man City. Last night, Juventus, not easy to win in Turin, but if they can't rebound here,
Okay,
I think they win easy.
Leeds United, have they had a
fancy
win
wins.
yet?
No.
No.
And, Watford have had a couple, but this is it, Paul. Leeds
game.
played great against West Ham, 8 to 10, Paul. They're in all our bets.
Wolves, have they come right?
Paul, they did. Yeah, it was a terrible game last week, but I'm glad for Raheem as he scored the goal. Took his goal brilliantly last week.
Took it well.
But they've lost 3 games at home, and they've lost all 3. They lost to Spurs, Man United, and Brentford.
Yeah.
Should have beat Man United and
And
Tottenham.
possibly Spurs, yeah.
But Brentford
Yeah.
murdered them, Paul. I don't know what it is. Away from home, they seem to play better, but Traore's on the bench. Newcastle can't keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
But I think there'll be goals in this game, Paul, because St. Maxim and those boys, they're dangerous for Newcastle.
Sure, very dangerous.
So I wouldn't be
Interesting
taking
game.
7 to 10.
Yeah, interesting game. Right, let's go to Brighton. I don't think they shone against Palace.
No.
Arsenal were magnificent against Spurs. Brings a different sort of light on things. But I still think a draw is probably the play for me.
Yeah, I agree, Paul. I was all over Arsenal. I saw this morning Granit Xhaka, he's out for like 3 weeks, the Swiss midfield player.
I know Granit Xhaka.
Man, he's a major bloke. It's him and Thomas Partey in the midfield definitely look like they formed a
look
nice
good,
barrier.
yeah.
I still fancy Arsenal, Paul. They look good going forward.
Very
no
good.
European football to play. This is a big game for them. But Brighton played
Brighton
well
have done
against
well.
a better
They've done
team.
well. They've been good this year.
Good manager, Graham Potter.
Yeah.
So a draw, but Paul, I fancy Arsenal.
Palace have fought hard. They beat
Well, I
Spurs
like Palace. This could
yeah.
be the upset of the weekend. Leicester don't look right, Paul.
Yeah, there's something not
You know,
right.
they play in Poland tonight, so I don't know what's going to happen, who he's going to play.
Yeah.
Palace, beat Spurs. They drew with Brentford, which is a good result now, when they should have beat Brighton, Paul.
Yeah.
21 to 10, Paul. 6 to 10, win and draw Crystal Palace. That's my suggestion there.
Right, but Tottenham, they have to bounce back.
Paul, we keep
the
saying
critics
that,
are going
and,
that. When did they last win?
Yeah.
They drew
Well, they
with
won the
Rennes.
first 3, lost the next 3. I just don't like what I see.
The only team in the history of the Premier League who were top after 3 games, and the team that were bottom
Bottom's now gone
when they
above
bent them after 6 games.
That's Arsenal.
The team that were lost.
Paul,
Here we go.
Paul, it's time Harry Kane stepped up.
Yes, listen,
otherwise
sell him.
Otherwise,
Sell him. If he's not going to do it, it's the club.
or
It's
drop
not
him, Paul.
Harry,
Remember last year you
drop
dropped him. Son's your main man in
Yeah,
attack.
that's right.
Play guys that want to play, and then you have a chance. If Harry Kane's going to go through, Paul,
Yeah.
Aston Villa murdered Chelsea, couldn't score.
They've murdered many sides.
Man United, Paul, I know we should have scored, but they played great, Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, very good side.
Paul, I
Very
think
good side.
Aston Villa will avoid defeat here. 7.5 to 10. It's Harry Kane or bust.
Yeah,
And if
that's
he's
right.
not gonna
To
play,
me, I agree with you, but drop him.
yeah.
You
Dele
know-
Alli, drop him.
Dele Alli has proven he's not good
Yeah.
enough. Bring in, let's skip start.
100%. Paul, you see what Arsenal
we
have
got
done.
give Brian, if they're going to play Ali, give Brian Gill or whatever his name
100%,
is. Give him
couple
a
of
start.
them.
He's tricky. He can
Yeah.
go for this, Dele Alli's little flicks and tricks don't work anymore.
work, Paul.
I agree with that. I'd let Moura play Song, put Kane on the bench, say, listen, you want to play for us?
Yeah.
Produce. Oh, let's go somewhere else.
Paul, you
His
want
value's
150
dropping with each bad
Well,
performance.
Paul, it's 150 million. The only team that's going to pay that's Man City. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's the figure, like it or lump it. Now,
Yeah,
when
that's
it
right.
was
Otherwise,
going,
Otherwise, sit it out.
Yeah, I agree, Paul. They've got to play. If Son plays up front, if Harry Kane steps up, great chance. If he doesn't,
that's it.
serious
It all
problem.
hinges on him.
Yeah.
Now, West Ham Budge have been doing well.
Yeah, I like them, Paul.
Late goals.
Yeah, Paul. They played great last week. So did Leeds. It was a brilliant game. Brentford were outstanding. One when they beat Wolves.
There's
and
two
then
up
they
front
played
are good.
great
There's
against,
two up front.
Tony and I think it's
Beaumont or something.
Buemo, yeah.
Buemo. He's a good player, a chunky, strong player.
Paul, they got beaten in the playoff final by Fulham. It was Ben Rama,
Yeah.
Buemo, and there was Watkins. The BMW, that was the forward line.
Yeah.
So imagine if they had them three. Paul, they've done great. This is a tough game because West Ham will
Coach
get into
must be
them.
good.
Yeah, he's very good, Thomas Frank, Paul. Big result. They
What's
can
his
avoid
surname?
defeat. Yeah, right. And Paul, I fancy West Ham. I like what I see. The only thing is, what team is he going to play tonight? But defensively, they sound. And Kurt Zuma in at the back. They may contain Tony.
Yes.
And if they can do that, I think they'll win.
Okay, now I see you're Liverpool. I'm Man City. Man City, I backed them to beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
They slaughtered Chelsea.
Yeah.
Liverpool have looked good and looked not good.
Yeah.
But Man City are now going to have a real knee-jerk reaction after
Well,
losing.
you'd expect it, Paul. You know, everyone screamed how great Grealish was. You saw the difference in class between Grealish and PSG at midweek. He's a good player. I don't think he's a good signing. He slows the game down for them. I'd rather have Foden than Grealish. Not that they can't play in the same team, but he suits that Pep Guardiola style. You know, Man City, Paul,
you Liverpool, eh?
you know, Paul, as a Man United fan, to tip Liverpool, but of the two teams, 5-2, the draw looks a great price, Paul. It's going to be a tactical affair. You know, especially with them at the back now, Van Dijk's back.
Yeah.
You know, of the two teams, Paul, 19-10.
Man City play every game attacking.
Yeah.
So I do
That's
like
their
that.
style, Paul.
If
They're
they
great.
get beat, they'll go beat attacking.
But I didn't like what I saw against PSG. Pass, going nowhere.
Yeah.
19-10, full house at Anfield, Paul.
Okay, here we go. That's Sunday 5:30 after the races. Now this is the championship.
Championship Friday night, Paul.
Stoke City are doing well.
Yeah, Paul.
West Brom are doing well. This is a tough game.
4 wins and a draw at home, Stoke City. But this is a big game for them. You know, they outplayed Preston, according to my boys at Deepdale. But West Ham went to was it Cardiff and won 4-0. Good team, Paul. Goals is the way to go.
Yeah.
Draw a player, but Stoke in good form, Paul. A lot of good players
good
at
game,
Stoke.
very good game. Friday, I might watch that
I'll be watching that quarter to 9.
Now Coventry are up there, Budge. They're up there. And
5 home games, 5 victories. I've watched 2 of them.
This is a tough game.
Yeah, Paul, I just think that Fulham are a good team. Them and West Brom are a division above what I've seen.
Okay.
Paul, they're a good footballing team, Coventry, and that's the problem. You can't outplay soccer. Good footballing teams. I don't see them beating Fulham. I think there's plenty of goals in this, Paul. Even money over 2.5 goals. Of the teams, I'd go Fulham.
Now, Stevie's big on Sheffield United and
Was
Bournemouth.
the upset.
Bournemouth are doing well.
Yeah, Paul, unbeaten in 10 games. They got
That's
6
good.
wins, 4 draws at home. I went for Sheffield United midweek, sold me down the river. But a lot of good players there, Paul. And obviously after the deadline, all the players that wanted are gone. So now you've got your squad. Paul, goals again here, Paul. I think both teams to score. I don't trust Bournemouth at even money. We've found them twice when they've drawn. But draw a player here, Paul. It should be a good game.
Correct. Barnsley, Millwall.
Paul, Barnsley got beat 3-1 at home by Notts Forest last night. Millwall beat the team I went for, Bristol City. Of the two teams, I like Millwall. But under 2.5 goals is the play there, Paul. But Millwall of the two teams.
Birmingham Forest. Forest bounced back. They got a new boss?
Yeah, Steve Cooper, Paul. 7 points from 2 games. Paul, Birmingham, they got beat 2-0 by
7 points
QPR.
from 2 games.
So 3 games. That's the
Jesus.
bonus point. But, they cost us last week, Notts Forest, and they win when we don't have them. But of the two teams, Paul, I like Forest, but the draw's a big player.
Blackpool are 4 points clear of but Blackburn.
Blackburn are clear of
4 points clear of Blackpool.
Paul, big derby. I like Blackburn. They always score goals.
Yes.
Paul, we've got a bet to there, 9-2. I'll tell everyone a bit. Well, 9-2 Blackburn to win, both teams to score, Paul. 9-2. I like that bet.
That's a very good bet.
Local derby, Paul. Everyone has a go.
We got the Blackpool shirts on.
Blackpool Tangerines could be the omen. Hope not, but Blackpool for me.
Cardiff City at home or even money to beat Reading, who got beat during the week.
Yeah, Cardiff got beat 4-0 at home by West Brom. Reading got beat 1-0 at Derby.
Yeah.
League's top goal scorers, Reading were. So a draw player there, Paul. Cardiff in the draw for me.
Derby win again?
Yeah, I think so, Paul. Going well, they don't give much away. Pressure Pride Park. Let's hope for Wayne Rooney, but a tight game, a draw in Derby.
Hull City, Budge, are the next one we're looking at. Now, they're 23rd, they're struggling.
Yeah, Paul, they've won one game. They beat Preston 4-1. They haven't won in 8. I think it's 4 draws and 4 defeats. Middlesbrough, Jekyll and Hyde team, Paul. You know, I've gone for them. They've got beat, but they beat Sheffield United 2-0 in midweek. 14-10, Paul, worth an interest.
Okay, the Luton Town against the other town.
Luton. I backed them last week, 3-0 up, 3-all. Huddersfield did well in midweek, Paul. 3-2, they beat Blackburn. Goals my way there.
The Posh, Peterborough, the Posh are struggling, right down the log.
Yeah, Alex Ferguson's son's team. But Bristol City, Paul, I went for them last night just to score. They got beat 1-0 by Millwall. You know, Paul, Peterborough at home have done well. I watched them lose to West Brom. They scored in the 93rd minute. I wouldn't be surprised if Peterborough got a result. Paul, it's 1-2-3 in the exotics. But, you know, Bristol City, I'm in love with that team, especially away from home. But a draw for me, Paul. It's 1-2-3, whichever way you go. Tough game.
But your beloved Preston North End are 17th.
Yeah.
They play QPR.
Paul, unbeaten in 7. We've drawn our last 5.
Okay.
But QPR going well. They've got goal scorers. And our man Neil Horsman's a staunch QPR. He's at every game now. He tells me a comfortable victory for QPR. Not that I take his football advice, Paul, but I think QPR hard to beat, Paul. I've thrown the draw in because of staunchness.
All right, let's talk local, Budge. MTN,
Yeah,
8,
Paul, I saw...
semi-final, second legs.
Yeah.
So, Budge, the aggregate now, Sundowns, who are the big side.
Yeah.
What's the
They
aggregate?
comfortably, Paul. They beat Golden Arrows. The goalkeeper threw one in for Arrows in the first couple of minutes. And one Sundowns are like Man City. Paul.
So,
Sundowns
are playing...
Sundowns got through. They played Cape Town City in the final. The game's not... that was the second leg that we got there. They cruised in.
Okay.
You know, and
Swallows got a smack.
Paul, it was 1-0 and the Swallows centre forward went past the goalkeeper, hit the post. They went straight down and scored 4-0 in the end, Paul.
So Cape Town City plays Sundowns, eh?
Yeah, that's Eric Tinkler's team. Done a good job at Cape Town City, but it's hard to beat. Hopefully he'll be in Durban, Paul.
Okay, let's look at the PSL fixtures then, Budge.
Paul,
Amazulu 7th in the log.
Paul, I can't have Chiefs. I've watched them the other day.
You can't have Chiefs.
No, 16-10, Paul. I fancy Amazulu all day.
Chiefs are 13th.
Yeah, Paul, they don't look like a team.
That's amazing.
The only thing that reminded us of our days is they've got the same colour shirts. But when you watch them play, Paul, could be any Chiefs, but it's not. I like Amazulu. I think Benny's boys.
Chipper is with Hunt.
I like Supersport, Paul. They beat Swallows 3-0 last week. Gavin's team not going too many places, Paul. So I don't see Supersport win,
Okay. TS Galaxy 2-1.
Now I like Sekakuna, Paul. They've signed a few players. That's a Joburg team. TS Galaxy struggling. They got beat 4-0 by 4-1 by Royal AM last week. I watched a little bit of it. Struggling, Paul. I don't see the away club using.
Okay. Right, and then the Baraka, Stellenbosch.
I like Baraka, especially at home. Stellenbosch, Steve Barker's team, they're finally scoring a few goals. So there should be a few in this game, but I don't see Baraka losing at home, Paul.
All right, Cape Town City Pirates, good game.
Yeah, it should be, Paul, but I just think they'll be celebrating getting in the final. I like Pirates, Paul, 12-10. That's in our play.
Okay, the Pirates are up in 5th.
Yeah.
Now, Royal AM, that
was Bloemfontein Celtic. They've moved to Durban. They played
They got
Chatsworth
a big funding. It was in the papers, I think 15 or 17 million over 3 seasons. Big outcry. The DA got involved and said, this is rubbish. And they said, hang on, the Sharks get a big sponsorship. They all get sponsorships. And it's so there's a big hoo-ha about it.
Paul, there's always, if somebody gets and you don't.
Yeah, we see a cabinet minister owns a share. That puts everything into perspective. You know, are you helping them out because you've got a cabinet minister there? But anyway, let's move on to the football side of it. They're favourite.
Yeah, Paul, Maritzburg, they've been competitive of late, Paul. Yeah, but I like Royal AM. It's most of the Bloemfontein Celtic players. They're hard to beat in Chatsworth, Paul. I don't see them losing.
Is that their home ground?
That's where they play, Chatsworth
Manning Rangers?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then Arrows, 8-10.
I fancy Arrows. The only thing, they got beat 2-0 by Sundowns, but everybody loses to Sundowns, Paul. Maruma Gallants are struggling. They've played 2 games less because they've been involved in CAF, but I like Arrows, Paul, 8-10.
Who's their opponent? Maruma Gallants.
Yeah, that was TTM from last year.
Every year these guys change names. You wonder who they are. Yeah. And then Sundowns 4-10, Swallows coming off a smack.
Paul, good things. Yeah, the manager from Sundowns, he got released. They've been struggling ever since.
That striker for Sundowns is a good
striker. He's Namibian, Paul. Good player.
That's a very good footballer. A lot of skill.
Yeah, good player. And he scores goals too, Paul.
Yeah, that's right. He'll win the Golden Boot. Okay, let's look at your bets then, bud.
Yeah, Paul. Gold Circle Soccer 6 again. I've gone Man United in the draw against Everton. I've gone Burnley in the draw, even though I fancy Burnley against Norwich. I've banked Chelsea to beat Southampton. I don't see Leeds United losing at home to Watford. Likewise, Wolverhampton Wanderers at home against Newcastle. And I'm going Arsenal to win or draw at Brighton, 192.
Okie dokie.
Onto our PSL with the Man United game thrown in. I'm going Man United win and draw at home against Everton. I'm banking Amazulu to beat Kaizer Chiefs. I'm going Supersport United win and draw against Chipper United. I don't see Sekakuna United losing against TS Galaxy. I'm going Baraka FC win and draw at home against Stellenbosch. And I'm going Orlando Pirates win and draw against Cape Town City, 192.
Okie dokie.
Onto our Gold Circle Soccer 10. I'm going Man United win and draw at home against Everton. I'm chancing Fulham to win at Coventry. I'm banking Burnley to beat Norwich. Chelsea to beat Southampton. I'm going Leeds United win and draw at home against Watford. The second page, I'm going Wolves win and draw at home against Newcastle United. Likewise, Bournemouth win and draw at home against Sheffield United. I don't see Derby County losing at home to Swansea City. And I hate to say it, I don't see my beloved Preston North End winning at Queen's Park Rangers. And we end off with Arsenal win and draw at Brighton Hove Albion, 256.
Okie doke, the big one.
Onto the Soccer 13, where obviously we take a few chances. I'm banking Chelsea to beat Southampton. I'm going for Arsenal to win at Brighton. I'm going Leeds United win and draw at home against Watford. Likewise, Burnley win and draw at home against Norwich City. I don't see Wolverhampton losing at home to Newcastle United. And I'm going Millwall win and draw at Barnsley. I think Blackburn Rovers will win the Lancashire Derby at Blackpool. The second page, I'm chancing Bournemouth to beat Sheffield United. I'm going Cardiff City win and draw at home against Reading. Derby County win and draw at home against Swansea City. Also Luton Town, I don't see them losing at home against Huddersfield Town. I'm chancing Bristol City to avoid defeat at Peterborough and ending up with Queen's Park Rangers win and draw at home against Preston North End, 256.
All right, the Budgie's best bets. Explain this.
Paul, I'm going Chelsea to beat Southampton by more than one goal. I'm going Arsenal to beat Brighton and Leeds United to beat Watford, 1,700 to 200. Our Premiership team goals only. All these teams have to score a minimum of 2 goals.
Minimum of 2?
Yeah. I'm going over 1.5 goal, which is the bet. But it's a minimum of 2. Burnley, Chelsea, Leeds United and West Ham. 7.5 to 1, 1,500 to 200. Onto the Championship. I'm going over 2.5 goals in the Coventry City versus Fulham game. And I'm going Blackburn Rovers to beat Blackpool and both teams to score. Paul, 1,800 to 200. Both teams to score sides are Stoke West Brom, Bournemouth Sheffield United, Peterborough Bristol City and Queen's Park Rangers Preston, 1,900 to 200.
Okay.
PSZ treble, I'm going Amazulu to beat Kaizer Chiefs.
Wow.
Orlando Pirates to beat Cape Town City and Mamelodi Sundowns to beat Morocco Swallows, 1,500 to 200. And our Collis King 6 or Nixa, I'm going Burnley to beat Norwich, Chelsea to beat Southampton, Leeds to beat Watford, Bayern Munich to beat Eintracht Frankfurt, Napoli to beat Fiorentina, and PSG to beat Rennes. 16-1. I couldn't believe that price, Paul. 3,200 to 200.
Very, very good, Budge. Okay, those are the bets that I really like. Well, let's hope they come right, and let's hope the people who are down to the last 53 or so, make sure, get your bets on. Is there a Friday night game?
No.
So it all starts
and then,
Saturday.
Paul, next weekend's international, so we've got 2-week break after that.
Okay, 2-week break
Crucial
after
weekend,
that. So this weekend, 53 of them. It's getting tougher.
Oh, Paul, not
the
easy.
CEO's still in. Amazing. That's why we get in this rain. But anyway, until next time, stay on side.